Hi and welcome back, friends of a thoughtful gaming experience. I'm your host Emmanuel Can, and we're going to proceed with our Let's Play and Explore Torment, Tides of Numenera with our glaive. Last time we started to explore the minor circus and picked up Tiber, kind of a shady glaive. What would I say, but our last cast off, yeah, our avatar, if said so, isn't that intellectual. He thinks this is a swell guy and wants to help him rescue his ex-companion from an execution. Cruel execution, that is, so that's okay in our book. And we're exploring the market some more now. Who's Falinda? Falinda. Nearly every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly woven robes and furs. A hood obscures its head, and a mask conceals its face. This doesn't stop you from noticing that it is apparently furious with you, trembling at bats at its similarly dressed companion. Both of them turn impassive masks back to you. Neither Falinda nor Steristi could believe it, but the thief had returned. Had he come in shame, ready to return what he had taken? No. His hands were empty, his expression baffled. Falinda crossed his swaddled arms. Perhaps the thief had simply forgotten to return what he had borrowed. This made him no less a thief. I didn't borrow anything from you. The thief protested, but Falinda was unconvinced. The merchant's memory was as organized as a library shelf, and it remembered this face twisted with desire for the very book in question. It remembered the same voice making promises it apparently had no intent of keeping. 10 years ago this thief had borrowed a book. Falinda wondered if the scoundrel was possibly unfamiliar with the definition of the word. Did not mean taking a thing and keeping it after all. Steristi pointedly returns to work, ignoring you both. Falinda sighs, messaging its temples with gloved hands. But in the end, Falinda took a deep, deep breath and asked the thief to simply return the sealed and long overdue book with a 5-colored sigil on its cover. Alright, I can't promise anything, but I'll look for it. The thief muttered, ashamed, but Falinda was satisfied. Temporarily. Why did you narrate everything I say? The thief said, but Falinda knew from long experience that there was no explaining it. The merchant kneels before the bookshelf and jams book after book into the remaining space. This frustrated Falinda. After all, the two merchants were creatures of words, bound in metal and cloth, but whenever Falinda tried to bend these same words into explanations and answers, they crumbled and fell apart. They could not fold themselves around the truth. The merchant slams the final book into place, and so Falinda said nothing. Alright, goodbye. So we got to find a book as well. Seems like this is some kind of quest hub. The Genocide. What the hell is that? His burly, armor-clad figure stands almost motionless as you approach. He regards you silently through his singular eye. The studs on his arms and the blades on his shoulders are stained and pitted with age. When he speaks, his voice is muffled and artificial, a hollow grumble that emanates from the entirety of the helmet. I am the Genocide. If you ask, I must answer. Pass on then and exchange no words. Who are you? I am a blade that cannot cut, a weapon that cannot strike, a living monument to failure. Shifts his weight. You hear the frown in his voice. I was converted of the Tabard. They called me one of the Black Three. They took my name to mean death in a dozen extinct tongues. They gave me the titles of Orphan Maker, Hope Smasher, Death's Child. My armies blackened the earth and the skies. My Dracolists scoured the land. Domination was my duty. I want to recruit this guy. All this, it was to have been mine in stewardship for the future of my people. It was promised, but now its arms fall back to its side. Now I am the genocide, a relict, the last of my kind. You said you were the last of your kind. Why? I know no others. Sikin Vendors is dead. Haran Ain was destroyed. The underspine has fallen. My people are destroyed utterly, and our servant God speaks to us no longer. The clean lines of order and the glory of battle have forsaken us. The rest are dust. We rose against the superior foe and were outmatched. Only I remain to tell the story of the Dabat. And who or what were they? My people. Great warriors, we owned this land, we served the underspine and it served us. We saw truth in victory, we ascended to epiphany. We were pure, incorruptible, indivisible even in disunity. We found strength in one another and proved it with bloody blades, but we fell and the underspine fell. And so, too late, we learned a new truth. But I carry the old ways as a seed within my heart. Why did you fight so much? For honor, for truth, for the one way. Because it was our duty. We were born to the blade. So it was written, so we chose. Free will is a curse unless given to a greater purpose. Our purpose was given to us by the underspine. Given to the underspine by our ancestors who found it and crystallized our essence forever. Mentioned the names of some Tabat. Can you tell me more about them? Vandus, the strongest mind of the Black Three, none could stand before him when he bent his mind to the unraveling, intricate, careful, overwhelming. Ein, a methodical planner, collector of curiosities, the toolsmith and construct. Waker, it was he who brought the ancient machines to life, and I, the knife, the strategist, the blade in their hands. We three were unstoppable. Until Sega's cliffs, until then, until the corruption of defeat. Let me ask you something else. Alright. You said you had to answer if I asked why. From within the helmet you hear a grinding noise, a sound of teeth gnashing, amplified. And the voice again bleak. We sat at the river's edge and we wept for the time that was. We saw nothing more to conquer, yet our fear still drove us. We had conquered the land, purged its impurities, made it ours. Still, we wanted more. When we heard that humans had come to carve a home, we rejoiced to have a new foe, new test of our truth. We rode against them. We drove them to the forge of the night sky, to the valley of Mrajolios, the dangers of the Black Riage. But those who built their home atop these ruins, they thwarted us time and again, and so we brought our strongest constructs, our deadliest warriors to the bay. We ringed the city. We entered the human settlement, we fought past barricades and traps. Some of our constructs are still here, silent and dead. But when we thought we had achieved our greatest victory, powerful Nano saved them. With its magics he called upon the strength of the ancients and captured us. I thought my life was at an end, but he imprisoned me in slow time, trapped me in my body, used machines to paralyze my will. I still remember our glories, and I see the faded future in front of me, and I am powerless to act. The memories of our triumphs remain always at the forefront of my mind, and I must answer the mocking questions of these people or suffer. Can you tell me about the Nana who trapped you here? How did he stop you? He found old knowledge and made it his own. He created defenses that we could not penetrate, most telling, most effective, the shield generators. Created 3 barriers around the heart of the city, and at last unmoored the city in time. Our constructs touched it, they flashed to stasis. We could not reach the city could reach us. Feel the ticklings of memory? The Genocide speaks of the shields. He continues to talk, oblivious. Let the memory come. It's a patchy memory, coming in still images and moments. The relentless beat of the war machines as they approach the city. the reavers in the sky, and the dirigibles. The Nana who defeated you was a changing god. He and his children still live. His voice is flat and dead. Others have claimed this. I do not know if they say this to torment me. But if our enemy was a god, even if he was once but a man, then to stand against him is to spit in the face of the divine. The Tabat were a holy people. Humans do not believe it, but our rites were as sacred to us as they were profane to your kind. We accepted the will of the ineffable. How did they stop you from trying to escape? Nana, who raised the city's shields, created a device. He called it the Mind Seer. With it he violated my mind, my memories, and everything that was at the core of my being. In a fit of vengeance he tore truths from me. He made me betray my people. He rewrote my mind. He gave me perfect clarity into the past and gelled my ability to shape the future. The Tabat never sought revenge against foes who were mightier than we. We devised stratagems to defeat them. We tested ourselves. We did not punish or hate. Punishment was purification. This, though, is torture. The worst of the city's refuse can mock me now. They can ridicule and jape, and I am powerless to strike them for their impudence. And now they do not even do that. I have become a fixture, an irrelevance, a non-entity. I am the slave to peacemakers. I must endure their presence and feel their corruption sink into me daily. Some foreign part of me desires it, but I remember that I will triumph over them. Eventually they will die, and I will not. Tell me about the shield generators. I told you their effect. They unmoored the city in time. They severed our supply lines. They left us vulnerable and defeated us. The underspine strategy failed us, I began to doubt. The generators are unused, abandoned, their purpose forgotten. Though the people of this city still swear by our name and our terrors are fresh, they have forgotten the means of their salvation. Well, it seems like we've talked through everything, so farewell, Genocide. No, I wish you no good tidings. Yeah, I can imagine that. There's another traveler, and there's something. What is that? This machine towers above you like a dagger driven into the ground by a giant. It seems much older than the surrounding buildings. Your hands itch to touch the array of dark panels scattered around the machine. So they have touched them before. Try to remember why this machine feels so familiar. Memory teases you with images of the machine in pieces, but you can remember no more than that. Examine the device and slip over the cobbled together components and greasy cables. The buttons worn by frequent use. It is a strange accomplishment, this machine, clumsy but deft. Amateurish but masterful. Only a brilliant mind could have melded so many disparate parts into a functional device. This device was used, though you don't fully understand how. To generate a field that unmoored everything within it, from time itself. Your fingers scrape a rough patch. Lifting them, you see a circular symbol etched into the side like a maker's mark. Leave it alone. Huh. So many things here. This maybe is the temple of the changing god. Maybe we can rest here. Let's go into that. If enemies armored, change up the damage type of your attacks with abilities or ciphers to overcome it. Oh, that's creepy. Is that a bear or a tiger or... oh, it's something mutant, I guess. Ah. Oh, what's that? Sangolin. Alright, let's talk to this guy. In the shade of a stall made from the finest materials stands a tall, thin, and exquisitely dressed older man. You've never seen a man more exquisitely dressed. The cut, color, and quality of his clothes are a symphony of harmonious coordination, while the expression of benevolent condescension he gives you seems as if it would be more at home on the face of a king than a seller of clothes. Good afternoon, he says, bowing slightly. I am Haberdasher Sangolin. Welcome to Sangolin's Fittings. How may I be of service? Oh, that's Government Square here, huh? Alright, tell me about Government Square. Corsair. Let me think. There's Council Tower just over there and the Order of Truth, and you can't forget the Red Thicket. The walled courtyard on the edge of the square. Oh, were you curious about our fountain here? Tell me about it. One of the stranger and more poignant attractions here in the square. The creatures in it are called jellies. They chatter in 1,000 dead tongues. The priests say that a new jelly is born each time an old language dies. You can listen to them for the month and never hear the same language twice, or understand a single one. Let me ask you about something else. Tell me what you sell here. Sell the finest city wear for discerning men and women, as well as quality armor for those traveling to less civilized locales. And if you are a citizen of the city, we can also offer you our exclusive Cliffs collection, the best of the best for the best. Also, it is our honor to have been chosen to provide the city of Circus Cliffs with the official badges worn by all properly credentialed city employees. You may trust in their trust in us. We could try to get one of these. Can I buy such a badge? I'm sorry to say that city badges are not for sale. They are given to duly elected or appointed public servants of Circus Cliffs, and it's illegal for me to give them to anyone who does not work for the city. I would be breaking the law. Ah, but you won't be breaking the law. My friend here has just been made Undersecretary to Overseer Yin. A messenger should be coming shortly with a letter of commission. But you know how Yin is, always a bit sloppy with his paperwork. We're not deceptive. We will fail if we try that, I guess. Thank you, Tiber, but that's asking too much of this gentleman. Perhaps we could mitigate the risk to him, however? Sangolin purses his lips. I'm afraid I'm unbribable, my friend, but if you were to purchase this fine pair of red boots for, say, 300 shins, it is possible I might leave something of value in the left boot by accident. Don't have that. I cannot sell you the boots. I'm afraid the price is firm. I'd like to see what you have to sell. I'm sorry, these armors are made custom for our finest clients. We don't have something you could purchase at this time. Well, farewell. For now. We'll be back if we can, like, rest somewhere. Ooh. What is this strange building, though? I think we should find out with this next time. I'm sure there will be some fights sometime. Otherwise, you can just listen to me telling you the story of Numenera, Tides of Numenera. And this concludes our session of Thoughtful Gaming. Thank you for watching. If you like the videos, please comment, subscribe or like. It would be really great of you. So, happy gaming to you. See you in the next episode. This is Immanuel Ken signing out.